This upcoming episode is from 2023 September, and in this stream, the main topic was discussing different platforms that are hosting races on simulators like Assetto Corsa and just comparing them in their current state. Why this live stream is very outdated, and especially some of the things mentioned in it are just speculations, I still think that there's some value in this conversation that happened on the live stream. So hope you enjoy it. By the way, how's the Clio series going? Occasionally when I get the chance, I check the streams out. Your series has been one of the most popular ones in this season, isn't it? I think the cross-promotion part of like two communities hosting really helps it. You guys have a solid streaming schedule with that. Like even if Alex cannot stream all of the races, I mean, you look at all of the other series, they had some decent fields, but also some low fields, and they can't fully always stream the races. But yeah, like the top 5 series has the best performing drivers. Those were not really getting that big of a fields. From what I've seen, some of them sometimes got only 3 cars on the field. Numbers look like they are on a decline. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. Yeah, the holiday season last year was very bad when it comes to numbers on SRS. Like, especially when you compare it to the previous years. That's it, I don't think it was a good idea for Craig to rerun the same car that James ran. They had fun, racing might have been good as well in some cases, but the numbers were very low there. They had like 6 cars at one point or something like that. The most they had, if I remember correctly, was around like 13 or 15 maximum. What I find a bit awkward though is that, like, this is not a diss on anyone. I kind of feel like that I could have got a chance at hosting on SRS if things would turn out a bit different. Some of the drivers on SRS were saying, oh, you should host your own series on SRS. I really didn't want to do it because I was not happy with how SRS was handling things. I made a video once on SRS titled that I'm worried about SRS. Like, it's been 1 year since then, and some of the things actually changed for the better, things that I mentioned in that video, but the rest is still pretty much describing how SRS is still functioning currently. It's a bit sad. Okay, so here's the thing with LFM. Currently, when it comes to systems that host races on AC, at the start of this year, you had 3 big names. So we had SRS, we had Sim Racing GP, and we had World Sim Series. SRS, as we discussed it, is losing drivers. You can't deny it. You look at the numbers, you look at how many names were attached to the system a year ago, how many of them are still here. It doesn't really feel like that they are really trying to combat it. SRS is still around, and it's doing all of this for free. It's allowing you to have custom skins, and it's more flexible than it was like a year or 2 ago. SGP, in the past year or so, I've only heard how it's playing a bit of a favor to some of the communities and kind of leaving others in the dust a bit. Some circuits that people would like to drive, they cannot, but other communities can use those tracks. Same goes with cars. Since they broke the partnership with race department, getting new mods on the system is also a very slow process. Something that I was, for example, was criticizing about SRS in my video is that getting new mods or new tracks on the system is a very slow process, and more often than not, they get featured once or twice and people forget about them. Thankfully, it looks like it's not really the same anymore, and there have been a lot of newer tracks featured on SRS, and I think there is more variety on it now. But SGP doesn't do custom skins, and they recently announced a very stupid subscription system which only alienated people who were defending it. Like, SRS on paper would have the biggest list of supported sims. AC, ACC, Automobilista 2, Orphan Hunter. There was also NASCAR 3, I think. Like all of the sims were featured, project cars too also. All of these sims were featured on SRS, and if you look it up, yes, they are listed. But for the entirety of this year, it's been nothing but AC. And then you have WSS, which if you pay, you can have custom skin. If you pay, you can host your own series with mods. If you don't pay, you can still sign up for a good majority of the races, but on AC everyone is restricted to the same livery. So right now, LFM could look at this and be like, oh, out of these three, only one of them is still doing what it did a year ago. Open market. So if they jump on AC and offer it for free, they don't have to open up the opportunity for people to host their own series on it. But if what they offer is solid and works well, it could be a good addition to the other systems that you use to race on AC. Oh yeah, and if they support custom skins, that's even better. The thing with SGP though is that ever since they announced that subscription system, a lot of communities that I know of or heard of departed from it, and I see it firsthand what it's like for some of them to be like, you know what, we're just gonna host our own thing. Some communities that used to host on SGP now host their own races on a server that they pay monthly for, and just host their own leagues. It's definitely not as simple as people think it is. The thing with special events on SRS is that there used to be a season or 2 seasons ago, it was still a thing for the American series, but no longer. The Hihi Racing used to host one enduro race, kind of like a 2.4 hour race or something like that, but they stopped doing that. I don't know if it's because of the numbers. It doesn't hurt to try. The one thing I think would help it a lot though is if it got some advertisement in for, like, do a trailer for it or something. Hell, I feel like that, like, portion the reason some of the hosted series that are still doing somewhat okay is that because they are spread around from community to community. Like, Donnie would share the info about the series. Craig would mention them on live streams. Like, he would spend live streams to test stuff on the later weeks of the season. But I do feel like that's like the bare minimum these days, because it's so easy to put together a trailer, or so easy to put together a poster. The barrier to entry for someone to be able to create a video or something, that has changed a lot in the past years. It's not as hard to promote stuff anymore. SRS's YouTube channel, it's only the live streams. Like, it's not even guaranteed. Live streams, especially in the past seasons, it's not even guaranteed that top races get featured there. Ever since YouTube split up the live streams, videos, and shorts into separate categories once you check someone's channel, it's more than obvious now that SRS's YouTube channel only does the live streams. And you can also, like, check out what are the videos uploaded on the channel and see that they are just trailers. Like, one of them is literally an advertisement for SRS saying, oh, Race Room is coming to SRS, guys! Get ready! And I don't think I've seen any Race Room races on SRS since I've registered for SRS. I've seen some AMS too, seen some ACC, but it's, even back then it was like 99% AC.